see, we need to approve the agenda. I think everybody's got it in front of them. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? The agenda's been approved. And then the minutes from the last meeting, if everyone's had a chance to read them, I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
And do I have a motion to second?
Second.
Luke seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? The minutes are approved. So Kate, staff reports or none?
No staff reports today.
Okay. Then we'll go straight to the case that we have before us, 727. And Corey, will you be presenting? Okay. We'll let Kate start off and then.
You guys, is this mic working? The light's not on. Can I just do it? I can use the other one. I'm not gonna check. It's working. Yeah. Okay, so we're starting with case number 727 for 601 Tyler Avenue. The applicant seeks approval to remove an existing rear addition and to build a new addition in its place. The existing addition was damaged when a large tree fell on the property during a recent storm. The structure is listed as contributing in the South Lamar Historic District and is described as a one-story, 6-bay frame cottage built circa 1930. As noted in the letter provided by the owner, the structure was likely associated. Leave it for later. Yeah. Yeah, and we'll just sit and do this. The structure was likely associated with the house at 512 Van Buren Avenue before being sold separately. As noted in the letter provided by the applicant's architect, as I'm sure you all saw when you visited the property, the house is located on a private drive and is not visible from the street. The proposed addition will sit within the footprint of the existing building, and there are no changes proposed to the main older portion of the house or to the existing footprint. However, the proposal includes enclosure of the existing deck into a screened porch and sun deck, and a new second floor. This will require a side yard setback variance, which will be heard at the May meeting of the Planning Commission. The rebuilt addition will also include a new second story. Proposed materials include board and batten siding, casement windows, and a sloped metal roof. The Commission, when considering additions to historic resources, should use the guidelines for new additions to historic structures found on pages 52 through 56 of the design guidelines. According to those guidelines, a new addition is considered successful if it preserves significant historic materials and features, preserves historic character, and protects the historic significance by making a visual distinction between what's old and what's new. And we included several excerpts from those guidelines in the second page of your staff report. Staff finds that the design of the new addition, other than the concerns of adding a second story, compatible with the recommendations of the design guidelines. There's a clear visual distinction between what is old and what's new, and staff appreciates the efforts by the applicant and architect to retain the original portion of the structure without changes. Staff does not believe that the addition meets the recommendations of the guidelines regarding the scale and size of the new addition in relation to the historic structure. So staff finds that the addition does not meet those recommendations of the design guidelines and is recommending denial of the requested rear addition. The Commission may choose to approve the addition due to the storm damage or because the house is not visible to the public. In that case, any approval by the Commission should include the condition that the necessary side yard setback variance is acquired from the Planning Commission prior to the issuance of any building permits. So I'm happy to answer any questions you guys have about the staff report, and then I would Brett and Corey would like to speak. And did you turn that mic on? You want me to turn it on?
No, just use the switch.
Yeah. You see on the top, there's like a slide, and just slide it forward towards the microphone. Perfect.
Check. Hey, good evening, Madam Chair, members of the commission. Thank you for the opportunity to be here today. Thank you for your service to the city. I don't want to, take any more of your time than what is needed. I guess you guys have read what's in the report, but I do want to emphasize that, we're not here to change anything that is part of the older structure, the historic structure. We had a tree fall in the part of the house that was added onto back before we owned it. We think back in the late 1990s, it was added onto. That rear addition is already a couple of feet higher than the original structure. And so, we've enjoyed raising our family here since 2013 and want to continue to do so. Our family is growing. And so the addition of the second story, celebrating what's there and historic, but complementing it in terms of materials is what we're aiming to do and what we're asking to do. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Does anybody have any questions they'd like to ask Mr. Hines? I will compliment you on your correspondence with the Planning Commission and the fact that you understand how this process works.
Yes, ma'am. That I appreciate that. Transparency to me is just is easier for everybody than and trying to put it all out there and be truthful makes it more efficient to me.
So does anybody have any questions they'd like to ask of Mr. Hines? I think his application is fairly simple in his request, but are there any concerns with the guidelines that anybody would like to discuss? Blair, do you have any?
I do not.
Okay. Okay, I don't think that anybody has any questions, so I will ask the commission if someone would like to make a motion to either approve or disapprove the application. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Luke made a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, there is a second.
Second.
Everybody in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? The motion stands.
Thank y'all. Appreciate your service.
I think I do need to add that you feel like they need to go before the planning board soon.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they have filed for that application. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, the next one.
Okay, our next case is number 728, a request by Cliff Hale for approval of changes to a previously approved COA, case number 669, for the house located at 1431 South 10th Street. This house is the subject of a previous certificate of appropriateness request to demolish the structure, case number 700, which was denied by the commission in October of 2022. We're all very familiar with the house. It's listed as contributing in the historic district. The previous approval, for which the applicant is requesting changes, granted approval for the applicant to remove the existing side and rear additions and to build new additions in their place, as well as an extension of the existing front porch. The new plans include further widening that front porch, the installation of a detached carport, and to raise the main gable form of the roof by 2 feet. The guidelines for new additions to historic structures can be found on pages 52 through 59 of the design guidelines. A new addition to a historic building is considered successful if it preserves significant historic materials and features, preserves the historic character, and protects the historic significance by making a visual distinction by what's old and what's new. This COA request does meet some of those guidelines, but conflicts with others. The proposed materials for the new additions and design of the proposed carport are acceptable and meet the recommendations of the design guidelines. Same with the rear and side additions. The materials and style and the proposed window and door openings meet the recommendations of the guidelines for the scale and rhythm of historic features, replicating those on the new building, using similar height lines for window and door openings, and to retain the general size and rhythm of openings on the historic building. The proposed expansion of the front entry and the proposal to raise the main roof by 2 feet does not meet the recommendations of the guidelines, and staff included several excerpts from the guidelines that were relevant to the portions of those requests on page 2 of the staff report. So because of those conflicts with the guidelines, staff is recommending denial of the COA request, in particular because of the front porch expansion, altering the front entry of the house, and to raise the existing roof line by 2 feet. The commission may choose to approve the request, and in that case, staff does not have any further conditions. And Timothy Garner's here on behalf of the applicant, if anyone has questions for him about this application.
Timothy, would you like to come to the podium? Is there anything you want to add to the?
No, not really, I think.
Not really?
Yeah.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions they'd like to ask of Mr. Garner?
I have a question. If you're proposing to raise the height of the house by, 2 feet, how does that fit in with the rest of the neighborhood, the houses that are adjacent to the house?
So it's gonna still be in line. It's not, it's in the same thing with the setback with the porch. It's not as tall as 1520, what is that, 1521? No?
Next door,
Yeah,
or a couple down.
Yeah. Are you talking about the White House?
no, the one to the direct right. There's 1429.
Yeah.
It's taller than 1429, but it's shorter
1433.
than, no, 15.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay, it's, to the one to the right, it's shorter, but the one to the left, it's taller, but it's already taller.
Yeah, I can see in the picture that the house on the right is.
Yeah, and it goes down,
taller.
that street goes downhill, so it kind of tapers with it. We're just trying to get that head height up there for those additional 2 bedrooms without expanding the footprint anymore on the lot.
Yeah, it seems like you kind of still keep with the mass of the neighborhood.
Yeah, as far as the setback for the porch addition and the height, we're in line. We made sure of that.
Are there any other questions of Mr. Garner? Are any of the neighbors online or anything? I don't think so, are they? I don't think we have, yeah, we don't have anyone online with that. So there are no other questions of Mr. Garner?
I'm sorry, so there were no neighbors that objected to this and then they didn't show up, or?
We haven't received
heard?
any feedback either way from neighbors.
We still did the same posting requirements posted in the yard. So,
The notice was the same as for all the previous hearings.
Did you contact the neighbors about the new design, or?
No, we did not.
Okay.
I just real quick, the rear, the carport that's detached, it looks like you turn in that way.
Yeah,
So when you look at the front, the aesthetic of it looks almost like a guest house, like that's what it looks like.
Yeah, essentially, we're calling it like a little porta-shave you can pull under, you know, weather, whatever, let out groceries. And then you pull through, and the carport's kind of set back just a little
Right.
bit, so you can't see it at all.
Okay.
And there's some storage in there, but it's not.
Yeah, there's stores on the backside.
Nothing habitable.
Yeah.
Okay, is there anything else anybody would like to say to Mr. Garner? Do I have a motion to either approve or deny applicant case number 728? Is there a motion
So moved.
to approve? To approve? We have a motion to approve. Do we have a second on that motion?
Second.
We do have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Blair? Anyone opposed?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion stands. Mr. Garner?
Thank you, guys.
Okay, I don't think we have any other business, so I will entertain a motion to adjourn? Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
So moved. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone not? Then we are adjourned.
Thanks, Blair.